Hi, I'm Dr. Jennifer Thompson, your host for Deep Roots Wellness Podcast. Okay, so you're doing the work, you're showing up. Maybe you're reading the books, listening to the podcast. Hey, just like this one, right? You're journaling, praying, you're going to therapy, you're talking to your friends about it. You are utilizing every resource that you know to utilize, and yet you still feel stuck. And this is one of the most frustrating feelings that a human being can experience, because it's not like you're sitting on the couch doing nothing. You're trying and still nothing is moving. Well, today I'm here to talk about why. Not just when it comes down to emotional healing, but in every area of your life. Your finances, your relationships, your career, your health, the dreams that you've had for years and that still haven't happened, because the reasons you're stuck, they're usually the same no matter where in your life the stuckness shows up. So stay with me. This one may change something. Okay, so let me paint a picture. There's someone, maybe this is you, who has wanted to get out of debt for years. They know what they should do. They've watched the YouTube videos. They have downloaded the budgeting apps. They've had the conversations. But every month, something happens. There's an emergency, a splurge, a setback, and you're back at square one. Or maybe it's a relationship. You keep attracting the same kind of person. Or you keep having the same argument with your partner, your parent, or your friend. You've talked about it, and you have cried about it. You have fought about it. You've had calm conversations, and still the same cycle. Or maybe in your career, you know you were meant for more. You can feel it in your bones, but you've been about to make the move for 2 years now. Here's the thing. Being stuck is not a character flaw, and it doesn't mean you're lazy. It's not a sign that God or the universe or source has forgotten about you. Being stuck is almost always a signal. And today, we're going to learn how to read it. The number one reason that people stay stuck is this: they're solving the wrong problem. When we're stuck financially, we think the problem is money. So we budget harder. We cut back. Then we grind, right? But sometimes the root is that you grew up in a household where money was scarce or chaotic. And subconsciously, your nervous system still associates having money with anxiety. So some part of you keeps sabotaging it to return to what feels normal. Let's look at relationships. We think the problem is the other person or our taste in people. But sometimes the root is that you don't believe on a deep level that you are safe to be loved. So you either push people away or you choose people who will confirm what you believe about yourself. You will choose emotionally unavailable people. And this is not about your childhood ruining your life. This is about understanding that your behavior, all of it, even the self-defeating stuff, makes perfect sense in context. The question is, what is the context that you haven't looked at yet? Here's an exercise. Think about one area where you feel stuck. Now ask yourself, when did I first feel this way? What does this situation remind me of? And you don't have to go digging through trauma. Just get curious, because awareness is key. Awareness will lead you to the reason that you're stuck. Okay, so this one's a big one, like really big. You can't consistently live outside of the story that you tell about yourself. You can take steps toward a different life. But if you, in your core, you still identify as broke or as unlucky in love, as someone who never catches a break, your actions will eventually loop back to match that identity. Look, manifestation is not fluff. Like, this is psychology. We are wired to be consistent with who we believe we are. The brain literally filters out evidence that contradicts our self-concept and highlights evidence that confirms it. So the people that say, I'm just bad with money, their brain is going to keep proving them right over and over again. Not because they're doomed, but because they haven't updated their story. They don't believe that they're good with money, so they can't be good with money. And listen, this shift is not about toxic positivity. You don't have to walk around lying to yourself, saying I'm a millionaire when you've got $47 in your account. The shift is quieter than that. It sounds like I'm someone who is learning to make better decisions, or I'm someone who has survived hard things and I'm still here. Or even just I'm someone who is in the process of changing. Because this starts to update the story about yourself that you believe. This is where it begins. It's a first step. You have to know that you deserve love. But first, we have to start. We have to start recognizing where we are so you can eventually change the story in your mind and in your body and in your nervous system. And here's the thing, identity shifts before the outcomes do. So if nothing in your life has changed yet, check the story first. Okay, so, and here's another thing. A lot of us are waiting. We're waiting for someone to validate us before we move. Waiting for the conditions to be perfect. Waiting for a sign, waiting until we feel ready. Look, and there are two different versions of I'm not ready. One is I'm not ready. That is wisdom. So it's genuine discernment, appropriate timing, and I want you to honor that. But here's another version of I'm not ready. And this version it's fear. It's just, it keeps you in a state of fear. And that's the version that we will overcome. In relationships, I'll put myself out there once I've healed more. But healing doesn't happen in isolation. Sometimes you need the friction of real connection to show you where you still need to grow. In finances, I'll start saving once I make more money. But the habit of saving is built on the discipline, not the amount. $5 a week. It matters less for what it builds in your actual bank account and more about what it builds in your identity. It's about discipline. In your career, I'll launch that thing once it's perfect. And you know where this one goes. Because it's never going to be perfect. Just start. The permission that you're waiting for, I'm going to need you to hear this. It's not coming from the outside. Not from your parents or your partner, followers, your boss. You are the one that you've been waiting for. And that is terrifying and freeing all in the same. Look, and we love to make personal development personal. Like, it's all about your mindset and your discipline and your willpower. And look, those things are important. But we forget that you are deeply shaped by your environment. So who are the 5 people you spend the most time with? Not who you wish you spent time with, but who you actually spend the most hours with. Because if everyone around you is comfortable being stuck, if complaining is the love language of your friend group, if your household doesn't talk about money as something that you actually change, you are swimming upstream every single day. And look, this isn't about cutting people off. This is about being honest about the water that you're swimming in. Your physical environment matters too. If your workplace is cluttered and chaotic, your thinking will be cluttered and chaotic too. If your home doesn't feel like a place that you want to be, it's going to be harder to build the life that you want from it. And your information environment, what are you consuming? What voices are in your ear? What are you watching before bed? You are, in many ways, the average of your inputs. And here's the move. You don't have to overhaul your whole life all at once. You pick one thing, one relationship, one space, one habit, and you ask yourself, is this helping me move or is it helping me stay? Okay, and I believe that This last one is the one that people don't talk about enough. Sometimes we're not stuck because we're afraid of failing. Sometimes we are stuck because we are afraid of succeeding. And yes, this sounds counterintuitive, right? Why would anybody be afraid of succeeding? Because success means change. And change, even good change, is loss. If you finally get your finances together, you might have to confront what you spent all those years avoiding. If you step into a healthy relationship, you lose the identity of someone who's been hurt. If you build the career that you actually want, you run out of excuses, and the pressure to maintain it becomes very real. Success is also vulnerable. When nothing changes, you can blame it on circumstances. But when you actually put yourself out there, when you try, now you can actually fail. And that is terrifying. And look, none of this is weakness. It's just profoundly human. But it is worth asking yourself honestly, what am I getting out of staying here, right here where I am right now? And then ask, is it worth what it's costing me? Okay, so where do you go from here? First, get honest about where you actually are. You need clarity about your life and your situation right now. You can't navigate from a map that doesn't match your terrain. Okay, second, identify which of these 5 reasons is the most alive for you right now. Is it the root that you haven't addressed yet? Is it the identity that hasn't shifted? The permission that you're waiting for? Or is it the environment that's pulling you back? Or the fear of what's on the other side? And third, choose the smallest possible next step. Not a transformation, not a plan yet, just one small concrete action that you can take in the next 24 hours that moves you 1 inch in the right direction. Inch by inch, life is a cinch. Yard by yard, it's hard. Somebody's grandma said that, and she was right. And fourth, give yourself grace, not as an excuse, not to let yourself off the hook, but because the most motivated, most disciplined, most healed version of you is going to be built by someone who actually believes that they're worth building. You didn't get stuck overnight, and you won't get unstuck overnight either. And that's okay. Okay, so that's what I have for you today. The 5 reasons that you're still stuck, even when you're trying. Number 1, you're treating the symptom, not the root. Number 2, your identity hasn't caught up with the life that you want. Number 3, you're waiting for permission that's never coming from the outside. Number 4, your environment is working against you. And number 5, you're afraid of what's actually on the other side. If this episode hit home with you, I want to know. Drop a comment, send me a message. Tell me which one of these 5 is most real for you right now. You might be surprised how many people are sitting in the exact same one. And if you know someone who needs to hear this today, share it with them. Sometimes the most powerful thing that you can do for someone you love is to say, hey, I was thinking of you when I heard this. If you're not already subscribed, we're on YouTube and Spotify. Please do it now. It genuinely helps more people find this content. See you in the next one. Take care of yourself and keep moving, even if it's just an inch.